This is Behind the Mic by Kirkus Reviews, where the subjects are audiobooks and the actors who narrate them. I'm Joe Reed, and with me today, Alex Richey. Hello, Alex.
Hi, Joe.
I am always so happy when you are on the show because you talk about fantasy, which is something I would never pick up in a million years, but I just love talking to you about it. So what are we going to talk about today?
Okay, so today we're going to discuss Tailored Realities by Brandon Sanderson and narrated by a multicast. We're going to talk about Cursed Daughters by Oyinkan Braithwaite, narrated by a multicast. And finally, we'll touch on As Many Souls as Stars by Natasha Siegel, narrated by Kristen Atherton.
And I'm right in assuming they are all fantastical in some way.
Yes, in some way, yes.
Okay, so we'll start with Tailored Realities and Brandon Sanderson, who is one of the godfathers of the genre.
For sure, very popular in the genre, although this is a little bit more on the sci-fi side. So this is actually a collection of 10 short stories across several genres. It's just, when I was counting it all up, it was mostly sci-fi, along with some postscript author notes that explain his writing process. Sanderson is really the kind of author who can publish anything and it will be wildly successful. So a lot of this is quite experimental, but very interesting.
He's just a good writer.
Yes, yes.
And who narrates the author's notes, which I find fascinating. I'd love to read about how his writing process for each story.
Oh, yeah. His writing process is particularly interesting and narrated by Michael Kramer, who is very familiar to Sanderson's work. He does so much of Sanderson's audiobooks already. So if you've listened to Sanderson before, you'll be very familiar with Michael Kramer. We're also going to be discussing narration by MacLeod Andrews, by Dylan Reilly Fitzpatrick. We've got Stephanie Nemeth Parker and even Dion Graham. There's more. It is a large cast. It is a fantastic cast.
Well, I know Michael Kramer and Sanderson, they have a real partnership going. It really is an author-narrator partnership through many series, like the Mistborn series and the Stormlight Archive series. It's very, very interesting.
Yeah, I love those books. They're so long, but they're so good.
Okay, so tell us about Tailored Realities. It's a collection of stories.
Yes, it's a collection of 10 short stories. So I knew going into this one that I was going to be blown away. Just look at this cast list. It did earn an Earphones Award. Happily, definitely deserved it. Great job. One of the things that I was pleasantly surprised by going into this, because I knew that the physical book was going to come with illustrations. And, normally you lose out on that when you're listening to the audiobook. But what they did for this one is offer these vividly described, accessible descriptions of the illustrations at the beginning of each short story. So that's usually narrated by the person who is about to tell you the story.
Oh, that is so cool.
I thought that was really interesting. And it made it feel like a complete experience.
Wow. And they did a good job in the description.
Yeah. Oh, I could see it in my head clearly.
Well, obviously, you can't talk about all the stories, so why don't you pick a couple?
Okay, so the first performance I want to talk about is MacLeod Andrews in a short story called Mitosis. So Mitosis takes place after the first book in Sanderson's Reckoners series, and Andrews narrates all of that series. So if you already know and love that audiobook series, this is going to feel very familiar to you. I have loved MacLeod Andrews for a long time. Like, I knew going into it, as soon as I saw that he was the one narrating this one, this might be my favorite. So you don't have to listen to the first book in the Reckoner series to understand this, but it will help because it's a short story, so there's not a whole lot of world building. You're just right there and you're just going along with it. But there's a lot of characters, and having the first book in front of you will only help. But it has a lot of characters, and MacLeod Andrews is so good at changing his voice up that it's almost like there's more than one person narrating. He's got this kaleidoscopic voice, so everyone's really distinct. It's really easy to keep track of characters. And so this is a story about reckoners who are regular humans that are confronting an epic who is a villainous superhuman. And the epic in this case, his name is Mitosis, which is the name of the story. And he's capable of multiplying himself seemingly endlessly. So that's what we're going into.
Okay.
And then we've got Perfect State. And this one was narrated by Dion Graham and Stephanie Nemeth Parker. So this is a story where people live in a simulation that's perfectly catered to them. So you have your main character voiced by Dion until suddenly someone from another reality visits him. And this was just a lot of dry humor. And what everyone's really doing here is just keeping this really serious delivery through all of this dry humor. So I'm laughing out loud while I'm like walking on the streets listening. And I think what sets Perfect State apart is like just how much the author's note, once again narrated by Michael Kramer, how much the author's note really offers the context for Perfect State in particular, because Sanderson had a different ending when he released this story the first time. So now in this version, it has a different ending that he likes a lot better. He sort of talks about why he made that choice.
A word about Dion Graham. He is what I consider to be an oral shapeshifter.
I like that wording.
Right? I mean, he is such a smart narrator who just gets to the heart of the text and really has the talent to be able to perform it.
And I'm happy to say that is who we're going to be listening to for our sound sample, so everyone can get a chance to know exactly what you mean by that, because it's true. He is so good.
Yeah, he really is. So are we going to listen to this story or another one?
No, we're going to listen to a different one that Dion narrates. He's so good, he gets more than one.
Of course.
So he's going to be narrating, and this is going to be what we hear for our sound sample, a short story called Snapshot. And this is about a couple of detectives that enter into a time bubble in order to see exactly how a perpetrator committed a crime. We're going to go right into the beginning of that with the sound sample.
Okay, this is Tailored Realities by Brandon Sanderson, and it's a multicast narration, and we're hearing from Dion Graham. He's going to be narrating an excerpt from the short story Snapshot.
They found the gun in real life, Davis said. It was down there in the storm drain where Estevez threw it, soaked in 10 days' worth of grime, but they rushed it through ballistics and it came back a match for the bullet. We might have to testify. They now had enough evidence to convict Estevez, and the testimony of 2 hard-working cops would only reinforce that. Chaz grunted. I still feel better if I'd been able to gun that punk down, pay him back, you know? You don't even know what he did, Davis said dryly. Killed someone. That, girl. He shrugged. Anyway, want to play hooky for the rest of the day? Davis looked up, feeling a cold jolt. Our next job, Chaz continued, stealing another fry, it's not till, what, almost 2100? 20:15. Domestic disturbance. They want us to see who hit first, corroborate one story or the other.
Oral shapeshifter.
I know. You really, that's such a good phrasing for it.
And what a concept. Detectives who exist in a time bubble and can hop around to see what really happened?
Right? Like, how can anyone get away with committing a crime in that scenario?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The next book you're talking about is Cursed Daughters.
Yes, Cursed Daughters by Oyinkan Braithwaite and narrated by Weruche Opia, Nenye Opia Clark, and Diana Yakini.
Braithwaite wrote My Sister the Serial Killer, which was actually narrated by Weruche Opia.
Oh, I didn't know that. I hadn't gotten a chance to listen to that one yet, but it's on my list.
So let's talk about Cursed Daughters, which I'm actually listening to now because I knew you were going to talk about it.
Cursed Daughters is a story told in 3 perspectives over multiple decades, and it centers around a young woman in Lagos wrestling with a family curse and the belief that she is the reincarnation of her dead cousin. So the story starts with Ebun attending the funeral of her cousin Monife, and later in that same day, Ebun gives birth to her daughter Enyi, and due to Enyi's striking resemblance to Monife, and the fact that she was born the same day that Monife had her funeral, many believe that she is doomed to the same fate.
And now, when you say the same fate, what do you mean?
Well, that would be a spoiler, but we do know that Monife has died. We don't know...
And died young.
Yes, and died young, yes. So her story starts back in the mid-90s, and Monife's perspective is voiced by Weruche Opia. And Monife is falling in love but she's also very aware of this family curse. So this family curse that says that they are doomed in love. So she meets a boy, she falls for this boy, and this curse is haunting over her. So she's not exactly sure what to do. And Opia has to embody this wide emotional range that Monife is going through because she's young and she's in love and she's struggling with that.
In listening to it, it is striking how her voice is so married to that text.
Yeah.
In that expression of being young and her description of Golden Boy, as she calls him, our perfect boy in every way. That description, oh my God, it made me feel young just listening to it.
Mm-hmm. In the early 2000s, we shift to Ebun's perspective, voiced by Diana Yekeni. Ebun is raising this new baby. She's a single mother, and she's holding on to a lot of secrets. And Yekeni voices Ebun's perspective as very firm. It's clear that she's overprotective, and she's very straightforward when she delivers the lines. And it really just echoes that overprotectiveness that Ebun is going through.
And Ebun is Monife's cousin.
Yes, Ebun is Monife's cousin and Eni's mother. So now we have 2024, basically present day. So she is struggling to separate herself from Monife's fate, but the similarities between herself and her dead aunt are too uncanny to ignore. The way that Clark voices her is very youthful sounding. She's got like the highest voice of the cast. And that really adds to the frustration that she's going through as as Ebun is holding all of these family secrets over her head and she just doesn't know the full story.
And it's also in this multi-generational story that the threads running through one family. The narrative voices, they're similar because it's one family, but different as well. Different enough. They really are differentiated. I mean, obviously, different narrators, but two of the narrators, Nenye Opia Clark and Waruche Opia, are sisters.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I had no idea. Okay.
Which makes perfect sense for this.
Yeah, absolutely. And they all have Nigerian accents. This is a story that takes place in Lagos, so it makes sense that they'd have Nigerian accents. It really sets the scene. All right, so for the sound sample we're going to listen to, we're going to hear from Diana Yekini, who is narrating from Ebun's perspective. This is right at the beginning of the story, right after the death of her cousin. And Ebun has just noticed that all of the pictures of Monife are missing from their family home. So you'll get a really good feel for the prose and just how Diana Yekini delivers it, both with her accent and the way that she just sort of surrounds you in Lagos.
This is Cursed Daughters by Oyinkan Braithwaite, and we're going to be hearing from Diana Yekini.
What's happened to most pictures? She asked as calmly as she could. Her mother looked up at the wall and sighed, scratching her forehead with a long nail. If this is what your aunt needs, maybe it's for the best. Ebun could tell her mother had not been a part of the picture-removing committee, but Kemi's words only fueled her anger. Ebun, where are you going? Ebun hurried through the dismal corridor to the east wing. The way was narrow and dim, not unlike walking through a tunnel. A little creativity, lowering the walls around the courtyard that divided the Falodun home into two wings, or adding windows, would have made the house a little less claustrophobic. But then again, the Roque tree at the center of the courtyard would probably have blocked out all possibility of natural light. She opened the east living room door to meet a collection of photographs so large that they rose almost to the ceiling, with the oldest of them devoid of color. Some dated back all the way to the matriarch, Fenrami Falodun. She searched for her cousin, but here too, all trace of Monife was gone.
You know, as I'm listening now, I'm sort of in the middle of the book. I am loving the narration. Those gentle, beautiful accents are mesmerizing, but even more than that are the cadences.
Oh, yeah. It's like melodic.
Oh, yeah, it really is. The pauses, the stops, the stresses. It just sweeps me along. And then finally, As Many Souls as Stars.
Yes, by Natasha Siegel and narrated by Kristen Atherton.
And Kristen Atherton, narrator of the Outlander series.
Hey, all right. I've not listened to an Outlander book yet, but that is good to know because that is a
Yeah.
series that a lot of my librarian friends are very, very into.
So tell us about this one.
All right. This is another story that involves cursed daughters, funny enough. Every first daughter in the Harding family is cursed to bring disaster. And Sybil enters into a Faustian bargain with the demon Miriam, and she promises her soul in exchange for the chance to reincarnate and end her family's curse.
And this is taking place when?
This starts in 1592, and it goes forward about 300 years or so. So in 1592,
Wow.
Sybil is the cursed first daughter of her family, and she is terrified. She has magic, but she doesn't want to use it because she doesn't want to cause disaster. Her father is just this angry, wrathful man, obsessed with magic. And then on the other side, you have her mother, who is just this quiet, quivering, grieving woman who doesn't really say very much. And Atherton's performance here, she has that's a lot of different personalities to embody. And she does so with so much ease. It just tugs you through the story. You are just immersed in Sybil's fears and her desperation. And her ability to differentiate these characters so well is precisely why this earned the Earphones Award.
And she meets someone.
She does. Sybil meets Miriam. So Miriam is a creature of darkness. I'm calling her a demon, but it's not super clear. Miriam doesn't even know what she is. She just knows she's here. She loves the darkness. She loves the macabre. And her perspective is just enlivened by Atherton's performance. So Miriam feeds on the souls of humans in order to fuel her immortality, but no soul has ever called to her as much as Sybil's soul.
Ah.
And you get that darkness, that sinister, that sultry. It's such a delight to listen to.
So it's Faustian here.
Yes, yes. It even goes a step further because, both women are fascinated by each other. Sybil sees Miriam as maybe the answer to breaking her curse. Miriam, of course, wants Sybil's soul, but along the way, they both start to desire something more.
Drum roll. Okay.
There's some romance.
Yeah.
Near the end of Sybil's life, desperate for the chance to break this curse, she agrees to exchange her soul for the ability to reincarnate. And the deal is, if the next first Harding daughter cannot break the curse, the soul is forfeit to Miriam.
Okay, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is, what curse?
The cursed first daughter is going to bring disaster. We don't know what that disaster is. It's looked different over the years, but it could be anything.
I see. So she brings disaster, and then when she's done, her daughter brings another disaster.
Exactly.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yep, first daughters bring disaster in the Harding family.
Okay.
Yep, so now we're going to leap forward. We leap forward to Esther, and later we leap forward to Rosamond. And that's just as Sybil's soul reincarnates, each version of herself is fighting to break this curse and to save their soul from Miriam's clutches. In our sound sample, we're going to hear Atherton voice Miriam, which I'm so glad that you all get to sample because it's so delightful. So Miriam has been newly summoned from the darkness into a world of men that want to use her power. But she has other ideas, as you will hear. You really get a good sense for how low and sultry and sinister this performance is. It's a delight.
All right, here we go. As Many Souls as Stars by Natasha Siegel, narrated by Kristen Atherton.
One of the men had said, "We would like to make a deal." She had looked at him and smiled with sharp teeth, reaching a hand towards him. Flinching, he had stumbled back. His foot skidded on the ground. Salt scattered, and the circle was broken. Suddenly, the barrier between her and her creators was gone. The burning faded. She heard the blood running in their veins and saw the dimpled imperfections of their flesh. She hated them. They had made her what she was, and she had killed them for it. Death for life. An exchange, just as all magic was, though not the trade they had wanted. And here, Standing at the precipice of the ocean, she understood the defining principle of her existence. There was no one else like her. She was alone. She would always be alone.
I really like Atherton, and I have for quite some time for many reasons, but she always serves the story. She doesn't try to compete with it. She is so deeply responsive to the text and really grounded in character.
I definitely know what you mean when you say that.
I'm just a great admirer of her work.
Oh, yeah. I would love the chance to listen to her again. So,
She narrated The Benevolent Society of Ill-Mannered Ladies.
oh, that sounds amazing. That sounds like it would suit her voice.
How would you not listen to a book with that title, first
Right.
of all? And then when it's narrated by Kristen Atherton, it's like, oh, yeah, I'm definitely there.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you sum this book up?
This is a book that earned an Earphones Award. It's got romance, it's got fantasy, it's got toxic lesbians. It's definitely a great listen. Do give it a shot if you can.
Alex, thank you. Honestly, it's always such a pleasure. I learn a lot.
Oh, I'm happy to help.
Not at all. Thank you. And I will talk to you in a month or so.
All right. Talk to you then.
You've been listening to Behind the Mic by Kirkus Reviews. Follow Behind the Mic wherever you get your podcasts. Do leave us a rating. It does help people to find us. We are very excited to join Kirkus Media, which is home to one of my favorite podcasts, Fully Booked by Kirkus Reviews. Every Tuesday, Kirkus editors and host Megan Labrise bring you author interviews, industry insights, and recommendations from the bestseller list. Find your next great book on Fully Booked by Kirkus Reviews. Follow Fully Booked on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, or wherever you get your podcasts. And stop by kirkusreviews.com to check out reviews for both print and audiobooks. Behind the Mic is produced by Jessica Lockhart, Robin Whitten, Michelle Cobb, Stephen Cummings, Leslie Fine, Alan Minskoff, Alex Richey, Laura Rossi, and Kendra Winchester are our contributors. Jennifer Dahl is our editor with help from Alicia Langerman, and Tom Beer is the executive producer. The music is William Ross Chernoff's Nomads 4-Way, and I'm your host, Joe Reed. Good listening.